sick of people at ESPN or SportsCenter who think they have their heads on their shoulders but really don't? Well, it's time for the Jimmy the K Sports Show. We are going to give you the most urgent sports news. Now it's time for the Jimmy the K Sports Show. Sit back, buckle up, and get ready for the life in the fast lane with the #1 sports show on the web. Here we go, my sports friends. How y'all doing out there this Tuesday evening? It's me, your host, Jimmy the K. You see me each and every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time on Ustream for the time being. That is a huge tribute and shout out to the late great Glenn Frey of the Eagles. Life in the fast lane. Man, this is what life in the fast lane really feels like, isn't it? Let's go ahead and get to some of our sports news. Basketball trade deadline is coming up here in a couple of days. I believe it's the 18th, so it'll be 2 days from now. We got a little bit of trades going on here and there that we need to discuss. MLB starts on Thursday. Spring training pitchers and catchers report. We'll get into a little bit of baseball there. And as usual, a little bit of football here and there, a little bit of everything else in between. So let's get this party started. Lots of baseball news each and every day. But we'll get to that towards the end of the show. We're going to do NBA, NCAA, football, a little bit of Daytona 500 coming up. So we'll discuss a little bit about racing coming up, my thoughts and premises on this race, this NASCAR race season. But we're going to start off with a story that I posted last week. As a matter of fact, I believe I posted it right after the show. Cam Newton discussed why he did not dive for the fumble during the Super Bowl. Apparently, that fumble in the fourth quarter that he had come out of his hands, he didn't dive for it for the sole reason that he felt like his leg was in the wrong position. I did get a reply back when I put up the post on All About Sports Zone page. I go, really? You're a football player. You're whining about getting hurt. The comment was, well, you know, he's got to feel good for his well-being in future games, and I understand. I can equate to that as well. But he's an NFL player. Sometimes you have to take the good and the bad. I understand. Does he feel like his ACL would have been torn? You know, he would have been out next year and a good year and a half after that? It's quite possible. If that's how he felt, then maybe he shouldn't have done for it. But, you know, you're an NFL player. Sometimes these NFL players whine about some of the smallest things that there are. It's kind of annoying. You're paid millions of dollars to sit here and whine a lot. As I said, Cam Newton, grow up hair, suck it up, buttercup. A little heartbreaking news in the basketball world. You know, we've got trades coming up. You know, the trade deadline in the NBA is Thursday. Teams have come off the All-Star break, but a heartfelt thoughts and prayers go out to Monty Williams, who's an assistant coach for the Oklahoma City Thunder. His wife was killed in a car accident here in the Oklahoma City metro. The vehicle was heading very quickly. She was heading home. The other vehicle was going very fast. The last report that came out today was that the other vehicle was traveling at a rate of at least 92 miles an hour. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Monty Williams, the Thunder community, the OKC Thunder community, and to his family as well, and this time of loss. So thoughts and prayers go out to them, and maybe if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, the way you you carry on her memory in the organization is you go out and win a championship. You win a ring for Monty and for his wife and for his family. It's very sad and tragic news. Well, while we're at it, we might as well talk about the NBA. The NBA All Star or the NBA All Star game was held Sunday. Oklahoma City Thunder Russell Westbrook for the second year in a row was MVP. Him and Durant led the team in some great scoring there. The trade deadline is this Thursday. Will the Thunder make moves? Will other teams make moves? I'm going to go over some of the moves that have been made today, discuss them a little bit, and go from there. Moves that might be made. The Rockets have been discussing Dwight Howard with teams. The latest indications right now is that the Charlotte Hornets are on uh, on a uh, on a swarm path to Houston to get Dwight Howard. They want Dwight Howard. They want him in Charlotte. They want his presence known in Charlotte. The question is a deal going to get done? And if it does get done, what are my thoughts of him playing in Charlotte? I do think that a deal gets done, whether it be with the Hornets or with somebody else. Do I think Dwight Howard will do better there than what he has in Houston? Yes, I think uh, Harden has created a distraction in the atmosphere of the Houston Rockets. Last year, the Houston Rockets were probably one of the best teams in the NBA. They were up there. And then, in the offseason, Harden goes out and decides he wants to date Khloe Kardashian, become part of the Kardashian clan. And as you've seen this season, Harden's numbers have been down. The play of the Rockets have been down. They fire their head coach early on. I've discussed that in earlier shows, whether it being fair or not. And now they're quite possibly looking at dismantling this team by trading Dwight Howard. Do I feel like Dwight Howard going elsewhere will be a good thing for the Houston Rockets? Yes, I do. Long term, yes. Right now, no. The Houston Rockets will more than likely get a player plus a pick and a Dwight Howard trade. And with that Dwight Howard trade, the team that acquires Dwight Howard, will he help them get better in the standings? Yes, he will help them get better in the standings. Will he help them move on in the playoffs if they pursue the playoffs, if they get into the playoffs? Yes, he has the presence of being a type of player that can go in there and can lead a team to the playoffs into a championship. But in Houston, that's not going to happen. Not with the arrogance of Harden now and Khloe, with the distraction of Khloe Kardashian and all that other hoopla going on with the Houston Rockets. So, will Dwight Howard be traded? Yes. Where he goes, Charlotte, somewhere else, they'll get a good center out of the deal. Do I feel he'll be much happier wherever he's traded to? Definitely. There won't be the distraction of Khloe Kardashian with the Kardashian clan hanging around Houston, Harden, whatever, you know. So that being said, we'll see. A deal could be done, a deal may not be done. We'll have to wait and see. A few deals have already been done. Who's ready for Major League Baseball? I know I am. And, I could go through here and discuss how I feel teams are going to rate during the season. I could start off with the AL West and move on from there. But at 6 weeks, the season's already started. So I could legitimately do that. And I may do that. I may do a show where I go over the AL West for example tonight, and they do a blog post on the AL East, and then next week do the AL Central or whatever, and move on from there, so that within 3 weeks time, by the time regular season starts, we have teams built up, my records, how I feel teams will fare in their divisions. And I feel like that would be fair to everyone that is viewing, because all 30 teams would be covered, not just one. So I'm going to start off with the AL West. How do I feel like the AL West is going to fare this year? I do feel like the AL West will be dominated by the Texas Rangers. Remember last year, I thought Texas would be a second or third. I did not feel like they'd be up at top. I did feel like the Houston Astros would be one of those teams that would be second or third. Kind of, they would be up there. I felt like Anaheim and Seattle would be up top. Texas and the Astros down there. I kind of turned there after a bit. How do I feel like the AL West is going to go this year? I do feel like a healthy AL West, and I said this last year, and I'll say this, every year. A healthy AL West will give not only the Texas Rangers, but that whole division uh, a stronghold, an AL East look of the last decade, where teams are so tight because they are so healthy. They're separated by 5 to 10 games from first to last. That's definitely something in a division you like to see, where 3 or 4 teams are kind of stacked in there. They're all jockeying for position, and that's how I feel like the AL West is going to fare this year. I feel like the AL West healthy. I have Texas on top, followed by the Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, however you want to pronounce it, followed by the Houston Astros closely, the Seattle Mariners, and then last will be the Oakland A's. How do I feel like they're going to stack up at the end of the season? It's a little too early to say that right now, but just going off of how they fared last year, I'm definitely go ahead and put it down on paper as Texas winning the AL West by 2 games over the Anaheim Angels. But the Astros being 3 games back of the Texas Rangers, 1 game back of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Then you have Seattle at 6 games back of the Texas Rangers, 3 games back of the Houston Astros, and then 7 games back behind the Rangers, and then 1 game back behind the Seattle Mariners. You have the Oakland Athletics. I feel like it's going to be a very stiff, very tight race in the AL West this year. Very healthy AL West, and that's exactly how the AL West could look next year. We saw that last year with the top 3 teams kind of all jockeying for position. A healthy AL West could give you 5 teams instead of 3 teams jockeying for those positions, and each of those teams being within 7 to 10 games of each other for that top spot in the AL West. What are my thoughts? Why do I see Texas winning the AL West? Why do I see Anaheim in second, or Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in second, the Astros in third, and so on and so forth? I see the Rangers winning the West because I see them coming out strong next year. They are the defending AL West champs. Jeff Bannister was very lax on them last year during spring training. He will not be lax on them this year. He's kind of one of those coaches that it was his first season. He wanted to take it easy on the guys because he really didn't know anybody. It was his first season to coach, and he was just going to go out and see how it fared. Well, this spring cannot be the same. He's got to go in. He's a sophomore coach. He knows these guys. He knows how to push their buttons. He knows how to get them to go above and beyond to get to that next level. And that's how the Rangers need to fare starting off in the spring. Starting off in the spring, Jeff Bannister needs to be strong on his players, needs to be tough on his players, needs to hold them accountable. Because going into the season, they cannot start 7-15 the way that they did last year. They started 7-15, but after that, it was smooth sailing from there. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I feel like will definitely fare well, being only 2 or 3 games behind the Texas Rangers for the AL West Division win, because of the great offense that they have and pitching. C.J. Wilson is a big unknown. A few of their pitchers are big unknowns right now. But they do have an offense that is above and beyond. An offense that not only is probably one of the best, in my honest opinion, to anybody in that AL West. But on paper, it's not offense that wins championships. It's a collective team. And remember, defense wins championships. So it's going to be pitching and defense that wins the championships, not offense. Remember, all these years that we've seen teams win World Series, how many times have we seen a team go out there with the worst ERA, but the best offense and still win the World Series? It just never happened. You got to have good pitching and defense behind the good hitting and timely hitting as well. The Angels have the top offense in that AL West, in my honest opinion. Houston Astros. The Houston Astros being 3 games behind the Texas Rangers for the win of the AL West. Why do I feel like they'll fare third in the AL West? Pitching and offense is like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, gives them a huge edge. But the one thing that they lack is a productive, powerful first baseman. Most teams you see out there have a first baseman, and that first baseman is a power first baseman. The Houston Astros don't have that power first baseman. For the longest time, all season long, I felt like the Houston Astros should have spent money on Chris Davis to play first base. Imagine what Chris Davis could do in Houston, even with his strikeout totals. Imagine the home run totals that he could put up in Houston as opposed to Baltimore. They didn't do that. They decided to stay mainly with their core guys. Being good, I'm not faulting them for that. Pitching wise, they still have the guys. Dallas Keuchel, the AL Cy Young winner last year. Dallas Keuchel being able to come out strong next year. As an opening day starter from 1 to 5. Scott Feldman, how does he pitch? How's the rest of the Houston Astros pitch? If 1 through 5 for the Houston Astros pitch is fine. Again, I see them at third at only 3 games back of the Texas Rangers for winning the West. Seattle Mariners being 4th place. Why do I see them in 4th place? I do see them in 4th place because of injuries and pitching, mainly injuries to their pitchers. Felix Hernandez and their starting pitching last year was horrible. It was probably one of the worst starting pitching squads in all of baseball. But they have to come out, and they have to come out strong, and they've got the offense, and they've got the pitching to do it. That's why I see them at only 6 games back of the Texas Rangers for the win over the AL West. Now the Oakland Athletics, I have them dead last at 7 games back, and only 1 game back of last place for 1 game back of 4th place to the Seattle Mariners, and 7 game backs of the Texas Rangers. Why do I have them there? I have them there because the Oakland A's have done some things in the offseason, some things that could help them go above and beyond what it takes to be a powerful AL West club. However, I do see injuries coming their way as well. Injuries were a big plague for them last year. So, I just see them as still being young, still being gullible, and still, not being the team to beat in the AL West. Although it could happen. Remember, all these teams healthy could give us a very tight AL West as I see it. One or two of these teams unhealthy could totally derail the AL West. Give only 1 or 2 of the teams a fight for that position, and then the other 3 a position in which is they're not fighting, they're just basically fighting for the last place. Well, that's how I see the AL West stacking up this season. And later on this week, be sure to be sure to check out the website at www.allaboutsportszone or Screamer Production. Let me start over again. www.screamerproduction.wix.com/allaboutsportszone. Or if you're a fan of the page All About Sports Zone on Facebook, just click on the website that's to the left of the page or on the bottom of your page, whichever browser you're using, a computer, a laptop, iPad, depends on what you're using and where it's positioned. Click on it, and later on this week I'll do a write-up of the AL East and their position and my predictions for that division. Now, back to the NBA we go. And some more trades or more trade possibilities. One is that the Cleveland Cavaliers have reportedly discussed a Kevin Love trade that would send him to the Boston Celtics. Do I see it happening right now? Probably not. Could it happen? Yes. Do I see it happening? No. Kevin Love and Boston would be an excellent addition there, but staying with the Cavs gives him the best possible place for him to win a championship. So does he stay there or does he go elsewhere? My prediction is that he stays in Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers really don't make a lot of moves. So that's my prediction there. Some of the other NBA things that are going on right now, or as of today, are you have teams discussing trades, and with it still being 48 hours away, a little less than 48 hours away, you're not going to necessarily have things. The Charlotte Hornets acquired Courtney Lee from Memphis for PJ Hairston and second-round picks. Also, Orlando traded Tobias Harris to Detroit for Brandon Jennings and Ersan Ilyasova. And the rumors that are going on are apparently the Wolves have no ongoing talks involving Ricky Rubio. The Hornets and Rockets are continuing to talk a Dwight Howard trade, but the deal looks unlikely right now. You know, less than 48 hours away. We're still about 42, 43 hours away. A lot of times you'll hear reports where it says a deal is unlikely, but within 12 to 6 to 12 hours, a deal is more and more likely. So a deal is more and more likely that Dwight Howard's going to get traded. More than likely, it will be to the Hornets, but we will see from there. Allegedly, the Bucks seem ready to move on from Michael Carter Williams, who they acquired last year's trade deadline. The Pistons are one of many teams involved in Ryan Anderson. The Bulls have pitched the Raptors on a deal that would involve Taj Gibson and Patrick Patterson. The Jazz have had discussions about trading Trey Burke. And the Suns are seeking a young player and a first-round pick for Markieff Morris. So those are some of the things going on. And the Cavs are willing to part with Iman Shumpert. So those are some of the things going on and some of the rumors, some of the trades that went on as of today in the NBA. There will be more to come, believe me. We're 42, 43 hours away from the trade deadline tomorrow and Thursday between 8 a.m. and 2:59 p.m. Central Daylight Time are going to be the most active times in the NBA for the trades actually coming through and actually happening. Taking a left turn, and lots of left turns, NASCAR starts in a few days. I believe it's 5 days from now. What are my thoughts? Chase Elliott becoming the youngest pole setter in NASCAR history for the Daytona 500, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to Chase Elliott. But remember, the pole and first and second place are the only two positions that are determined. The rest of the positions are determined through their what they would call dual races, and the other positions from 3 through 43 will be decided from those dual races. What are my thoughts on this season? Who do I see winning NASCAR's ultimate goal this season? Now that Jeff Gordon is retired, Kasey Kahne, Jimmie Johnson are now teammates, I believe, still. You know, Danica Patrick on the heels of Tony Stewart. Brian Vickers as well, you know, filling in for Tony Stewart, who's had injuries. So who's my pick for winning this year's NASCAR Win It All? You know, I think it'll be very close between Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart. I think, you know, this year is one of those years in which Tony Stewart feels like he needs to come out and he needs to come out strong. He's not at the heels of Jeff Gordon or Jimmie Johnson anymore. Jeff Gordon's retired. Jimmie Johnson doesn't have Jeff Gordon as a teammate anymore, as that drive, that person to push him. Tony Stewart is that next generation of driver that needs to step up and become the next Jimmie Johnson, the next Kevin Harvick, the next Denny Hamlin. You know, Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart are my top two, one of the two. But I feel very closely Tony Stewart either wins it or Kevin Harvick wins it. But either way, the two are going to be so close in points that it's going to be pretty scary this season. NASCAR season is upon us, 5 days away. Daytona 500 viewers out there, like our page. If you're a NASCAR fan, like our page. If you're a basketball fan, like our page. I've got 3 new likes this week to the All About Sports Zone page, and I appreciate you for coming to the All About Sports Zone page and liking us. Remember, if you have sports that you would like for us to discuss, a sports question, you know, maybe we don't follow enough high school sports, and you would like for us to, for instance, you know, discuss how we feel like LD Bell's baseball team is going to be this year. You know, then feel free to shoot me that question, whether it be on a future show or whether I blog about it. You know, I'll definitely get to your question. It's all about you, the viewer. I want to make you part of the show. So remember, if you've liked our page, be sure to message me with your sports questions, your comments, your concerns. You know, also if you're a fan of the Facebook page as well, remember our website, www.screamerproduction.wix.com/allaboutsportszone. Again, like I said previously in the show, if you've liked our All About Sports Zone page, it's on there. You just click on View Website or click on it, and it'll pop up the website. You can go to the fan gallery. It says fan gallery to the top right of the corner. Click on fan gallery, click contact. Maybe you are a sports fan and would like to share pictures with us. You know, we definitely would love your sports pictures for the sports page, and you get 100% credit. And not only that, your sports team, your sports fan, your sports person, your sports child gets 100% recognition from the show. I'm not going to keep the pictures. I'm not going to take sole possession of them and say, hey, look, you know, I got this picture from the high school baseball game, and this kid is a great player, and it was all me. It's not going to be that way. I give you, the fan, 100% credit, and I appreciate you, the fans, for stopping by each and every Tuesday night. And I want to end the show by saying, by echoing what Taylor Swift said at the Grammys last night. Not verbatim, but echoing it. There will be some people along the way that will try to take credit for things that you've done, for your successes. Don't let them stand in your way. Only you and only you can be the next step to your success. Leaders, presidents, top sports players, Peyton Manning's, Tom Brady's, Joe Montana's, Nolan Ryan's, Jackie Robinson's, Babe Ruth. They didn't let anybody stand in their way, and they didn't let people take credit where credit wasn't due. Believe me, you're always going to have somebody stepping in your way, trying to take fame away from you or take stuff away from you, take credit away from you when you were the one that was the leader, the one that went above and beyond, the one that did what you had to do to go above and beyond. Don't let those people tear you down. Continue to keep on, and believe me, the more and more you do, the faster and faster you go, the less and less you let those people take credit for things that they did not do, the faster your success will come. With that being said, I am your host, Jimmy the K. Be sure to check back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. You see me here at Ustream each and every Tuesday night. Remember, there are ways you can get a hold of me. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/allaboutsportszone. Remember, if you've liked our page, be sure to let your friends, colleagues, sports friends know about us. Pass the page on. Share the page. Let them know about us. We'd love to have them as fans and friends as well. Like us on Twitter at JimmyCursey1, or you can email me as well your sports questions, comments, or concerns at allaboutsportszone@gmail.com. And again, or you can go on our website, www.screamerproduction.wix.com/allaboutsportszone. Go to the upper right hand corner, click on Fan Gallery, click on Contact. You can send your questions, comments, concerns there, and we will answer them, because why? We want to make you, the fans, part of the show, and you get 100% of the credit. Until next Tuesday night, I am your host, Jimmy the K. Peace out.